receiver group. What are your thoughts? Tell me a little bit about these guys. I mean, obviously, as all these lists are, great list of guys from old school to new school.
Right.
What do you think?
And just let me lodge my complaint here. We only had 10 wide receivers, and we had more running backs than wide receivers, but that's another story, even though 2 receivers are on the field at the same time. But that's another story. Listen, this list, after I finished crying, after I got done crying, I just looked and said, wow, you can't complain about the list. There's no one on there that I could really take off. I mean, Jerry Rice, I thank him every time I see him because chasing him is what built me, what made me. You know, you had that thing that you wanted to always chase, and you always chased him. And Randy Moss, man, oh, my God. Man, I love watching that piece, just what Rich was talking about, to hear Randy Moss and Coach Belichick talk about what they saw on the field at the same time. It was just phenomenal, the way this guy came in the league. And I thought we were going to get him, which could have extended my career and got me another 2 Super Bowls or 2. I thought we were going to get him, man. He was phenomenal. There was no doubt in my mind he belongs on that list.
Well, and I loved, if you watched that episode of the show, they talked a lot about, there were some great athletes like a Randy Moss, but there were also a number of guys that weren't necessarily the guy that's running the 4.340 or jumping really high.
Right.
But they just had something about them that was different. Even a Jerry Rice, wasn't a burner, but was just a perfectionist when it came to his craft. I mean, for me, a guy like Larry Fitzgerald, I watched him when he was young, and he was extremely talented, but I also watched him evolve as he lost some of that athleticism. He became a blocker, which they talked about. He became a better receiver in terms of running routes and being able to run the entire route tree, moving from outside to inside. And, I think that completeness is one of the reasons that he made the list, because he's done it for so long at such a high level, but in so many different ways.
So many different ways.
Just speaks to the kind of player he was and the perfectionist and the pro that he was. But, I mean, great episode.
It was. It really was. And I saw Don Hudson on there, and I said to people, I said, oh, my God, Don Hudson still had records when I was in the league.
Right.
I was trying, most consecutive games, 100 yards, and it was back in the day when we were not even throwing the ball.
Noon to 3 Eastern, celebrities, sports, life, all together in one 3-hour show every single day on Audience Network, AT&T, and, of course, radio stations nationwide. We all went 3-0 yesterday, so no ground made up. Kurt, through the last week, got one closer to me. He's 2 back. Mooch has been 3 back, and Herb is falling and is having trouble getting up. I am taking Kansas City and Chicago tonight. I think it's going to be a rough night for Nagy and Trubisky against Nagy's former, I guess, his mentor and the guy that the Bears didn't take.
Yeah, I'm going to take Kansas City as well. I just think we all know they're a great offense, but their defense is getting better.
Yeah, and they're heating up as well, and still a lot to play for, And something happens, they could sneak into that number 2 spot, so I'm going Chiefs.
Herb?
I feel badly for just the Bears fans, because they'll take this double loss. They'll take the loss on the scoreboard, but they also are going to have to deal with the loss of looking at Patrick Mahomes and saying, we could have, So I am taking the Chiefs.
Crying Mike.
There's a crying Mike. Cynthia Freeland's projection makes it 5 across. Arizona and Seattle, we all say Seattle wins this, which again would mean Seattle gets the 1 seed back. Game in Seattle, week 17, would be for the NFC West, the 1 seed, the whole shooting match.
Rest
most
anybody.
Likely.
You can't rest.
Huge.
We all think that's happening. I'm going to go in terms of New York and Washington. Man, that Redskins secondary is decimated, but I'm still taking D.C. at home. So I'm going to go with Washington.
Yeah, the battle of the young quarterbacks, Dwayne Haskins and the Dookie. All right, Daniel Jones. I'm going to take the Redskins, too, though, at home.
Kurt?
I know it's Daniel Jones' first game back. It worries me a little bit, but I'm going to go with the Giants here. He's got his weapons back. Saquon needs to get going. I just think they're more talented across the board. I'm going Giants.
Herb?
Well, I actually took the Redskins with Rich, but I mean, I could try to. I can get a perfect record right here. You don't think I can get this?
You just go. Take whoever you want.
Why can't I take? Why can't I take the Giants and change it up?
Are you changing it?
Don't change it. Make them whole.
Change before I put this thing on.
I want to try to catch Rich, and this is a good shot to try to take right here.
Are you taking the Giants?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Giants.
Kurt saves Kurt on the lone wolf right there. And Mooch, by the way,
Can I take the Giants then?
No.
We all